My friend, what a wonderful lesson today. Quick recap. We're going to talk about the G major and the C major. Located on here, oh, a little shadow, my bad. We have a G major and a C major. Notice how when you put your first finger on the B and then you put each additional finger down towards the 5th fret, that your 5th fret, your 3rd finger and your pinky are going to be playing the same note. On the C major, notice how your E and your E will be playing the same note. With teeter-totters, it gives you the ability to scoot that C up to a C sharp. Case in point, when I play this, C major has a first finger on the 1st fret on the B string. Now let's count them out here. This is our high G, our 5 string. Our 4 string is going to be the low D. Our 3 string is going to be our G. Those two are both G's. And then we're going to have a B string right here. It's the only note on this thing with the open tuning that isn't a D or a G. So our 2nd string is a B. And then we've got a D up top, high D. Now, our lowest string, D, and then our highest string, D, are used together. So in almost all of our chords, we're going to be using bookends, meaning our 2 fingers are going to be playing the same note. In the key of G major, when we take this 1st finger and we put it on the 3rd fret on the B string, now let's count them. Open B, C at the 1st, C sharp at the 2nd, and B, D, there it is, D at the 3rd. Our 4th fret is going to be played by our 2nd finger on the G string, and then the lowest string, the 5th fret, we're going to play our 3rd finger to give us boo, boo, boo. This is a D string, and the high D string needs to be covered as well with the pinky. See how these are covering the same notes? Yeah, this is a G major. So the purpose of this week is to take the G major and C major and do this. G major, 2, 3, 4. 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 See how we're going back between the open G and then we're laying our fingers down, and there's a certain period of time that elapses between both of those chords. It feels like an eternity if you're going slow, 2, 3, 4, but it gives you enough time to line your fingers up for the next chord. What happens is when we stop doing these in whole notes, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and we do them in half notes, meaning we play on the 1 and the 3. See how switching between the chords gets a little bit more difficult because we have to actually put our fingers down at the same time rather than layering them as boop, boop, boop. Alright, so when we do quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. When we get to quarter notes on these chords, it exhibits we're able to take our fingers off and put them back on simultaneously. We try that with the C major as well. 1st finger, 1st fret, B string. So find your 2nd string, the B, play your 1st finger on the 1st fret to give that B string a C note, and then we're going to skip the G string and play our 2nd finger on the D string. Since the D string is being played, we want to bookend it with our 3rd finger up top, meaning we have our 1st finger on the 1st fret, B string, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret on the D string, and then our 3rd finger on the 2nd fret as well on the high D string, leaving the G note open. That gives us C major, because we have a triad, C, E, and G. The teeter-totter in this case is to play the chord, 2, 3, 4, and then we switch our 1st finger off, 2nd finger goes to where the 1st finger was, 3rd finger goes to where the 2nd finger was, and then our pinky comes onto the fretboard and plays that bookend D up top. Same chord, different fingering. Reason being, we could scoot this up, bar, and get a C sharp, D, so on and so forth. So what we're learning is how to make movable pattern shapes, all right? So practice those. C major, C major, G major, and G major. Great job. Also, make sure you do your Spidey exercises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 fingers, go up a string, skip a fret, up a string, skip a fret, up up a string, skip a fret. Once you can traverse up, and then traverse down at whatever speed you're at, that's when you start to go a little faster. So if you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2. Once you can do it at this speed and get each one of these notes to come out nice and audible, yeah, do 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 do. You go all the way back down to the beginning that you were at, except you don't start with the first fret. You then start with the second fret. I'm gonna play a little bit faster, but the concept is still there. Started on the first fret for that run, second fret, third fret, fourth fret. Here comes the fifth fret. When we do this, we're showing ourselves that we can move up in half steps, we build muscle memory, and we don't have to remember what any of the names of these are. They're all just muscle memory movements. After that, the spider exercise, try what we learned today, the teeter-totters. That is your G and your C, which is a great way to play a 2-chord song. Once we learn 3 chords, then the sky's the limit, because all those shapes can be scooched up. The only thing we need to do is learn 2 more shapes, and then the whole banjo is yours to have fun and play with, all right? Really great seeing you this week. I cannot wait to see you next week. Practice for 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night. That's pretty much all you gotta do. Anything other than that, you could just have fun playing with these chord structures that you learn. Aloha.